Hello everyone, welcome to IMPRINT IS. I'm Varun Khular, and we're looking at the Indian Express and the Hindu Daily News Discovery for 22nd of December 2018. So let's have a look. What all we'll be covering today. The first art editorial is on Facebook and the behavior, the despicable behavior of Facebook and the issues that have come out of that, and especially the privacy issue. Then we have India Maldives relations editorial on the Hindu as well, right? And this is extremely important. I think you should definitely write an answer on this. Then the December 20th order allowing 10 different central agencies to snoop, on people, how that has impacted the people, what happened in Rajya Sabha, etc. Then hefty fines if states, fail to, clean up rivers by the NGT has given warning to all the state governments. Then we have something very interesting. For the first time ever, we have, the various index, the Sustainable Development Index, related to various states in India, and it says that Himachal, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu have been ranked highest in terms, and look in detail of that. Then the High Court orders, the status quo on Sterlite ban. So let's start with the Facebook and privacy report. Okay, so this is by Apar Gupta, and he is executive director of the Internet Foundation, right? Freedom Foundation. So he's a Delhi-based lawyer. So he starts with a satire. He says Facebook motto was to move fast and break things. And by now we have all heard variations of it to mock the social networking platform, which is identified globally for privacy breaches and misinformation campaigns, and even interfering in the election processes of major democracies. And the latest in this is the torrent of disclosures by the New York Times documenting a range of private deals struck by Facebook for reciprocal share of user data with knowledge of top management. And some deals even permitted access to even private chats. So think about how evil Facebook is, right? They even are allowing somebody to look into private chats. And but rather than merely documenting this as a piece of user trust, Facebook, right? We should basically look at what other things Facebook is doing, right? So think about the fact that we have, the Cambridge Analytica thing, in which Facebook basically has been shown to give data to analytical firms like Cambridge Analytica to influence election processes, and USA, India, Brazil, etc., Russia, etc., are impacted by that. Then we have, Apar Gupta talks about the fact that think about what Facebook would have done if, the network neutrality, the net neutrality was not actually seen to be important in India, and the free basics things would have been, implemented in India, right? And what to level Facebook would have gone if that was the case, right? So obviously, that's one thing. The other thing, what has happened is there's a practice now which Facebook has, right? So any application which gets access to Facebook data had to share it back with Facebook. And the practice of data hoarding became clear when acquiring WhatsApp. And it changed. What happened was WhatsApp changed its privacy policy from September 2016. It allowed to share users' metadata between WhatsApp and Facebook without really explaining what is being shared, how it is being changed. Changes to these terms of service were challenged in a public interest petition in Delhi High Court, which dismissed this legal challenge, noting, among other things, at the time the status of fundamental right to privacy was disputed. Right, and so again, in time, what happened? The Apex Court has given the right to privacy judgment, which has come in August, right? And now, something seriously needs to be done. What the government has done is it has submitted, constituted data protection committee headed by retired Supreme Court Justice B.N. Sri Krishna on the same issue, and obviously that has deferred the hearing of what Facebook needs to do to safeguard the data of the people, right? So basically, if you think about it, what happened has been happening is that Facebook has been misusing the power it has, despite the fact that yes, Facebook is important for Indians and is used widely by them, right? So what should be done is the government, right, must act with insurgency, right? And that is the first thing, right? And to properly harness digitization, we now have to challenge of developing and prioritizing institutional governance to protect users. And we should have a comprehensive right protecting privacy law. Right? Remember, India has the second largest number of internet users. India has little to show in terms of investigatory outcomes, measuring regulatory responses, or parliamentary, processes which safeguard users. And obviously, he ends with the quote that now is the time to move fast and fix things. Okay, just to revise, you can go through. We can go through the various basic ideas. So obviously, Facebook motto was to move fast and break things, but now we have heard various variations which have been now mocking it. Then you have latest disclosures by New York Times, in which there are private deals struck by Facebook for reciprocal sharing of user data with the knowledge of top management. Basically, this is should be a criminal activity, right? And some deals even permitted access to private chats. Think about, Narendra Modi or some, very, very famous person's private chat being read by a third person. So what kind of, conflict of interest, breach of confidentiality would be there? Then, even prior to the disclosures by Cambridge Analytica, Indian civil society activists have fought against Facebook very publicly on net neutrality, and the company had proposed to offer users without internet, right, free in some websites called Free Basics. That was essentially a bouquet of websites, right? And in December 2015, it was argued that by facilitating access to websites beyond Facebook, its intent was purely altruistic, and the deal was opposed on the grounds of net neutrality, who recognized that Facebook will become a gatekeeper to the internet, and the opposition to the Free Basics one with a ban on it imposed by the telecom regulator. Then there is no data protection authority or an office of a privacy commission to investigate an independent, right? That is the key problem. Platforms such as Free Basics. And you can see that Facebook has not stopped. Even after Free Basics, what it did was it just acquired WhatsApp and changed its privacy policy. And when this was appealed again, the Delhi High Court and the Supreme Court, it was seen to be that the privacy judgment hadn't come and nothing happened there. When again this was challenged after the privacy judgment, the union government submitted that it has constituted a data protection scheme. So basically, it seems that the government itself is in cahoots with Facebook. By March 2018, Cambridge Analytica exposed Gannett Stream, right, and blockbuster reports came out from the New York Times and Observer, and they documented compromising of personal data of Facebook users to micro-target them with subtle form of political campaigning without knowledge. Right, the kind of things that has happened, because of Facebook. I think, I wonder, if Donald Trump was not the president, that whether Facebook should have been closed down itself. Till date, there's little public information on the, investigation. We have no idea, on the various privacy issues regarding Indians, right, and so on. And if you remember a few days back, Facebook even asked us to change our password. Okay, so what at the end of the article basically it says that we should have a very, very strong, right protecting comprehensive privacy law, and that is the key, right? And it does say the fact that the government doesn't like that, and they basically prioritize data collection and privacy impairing legislation like the DNA regulation bill, etc., and the political firestorm over the ministries of Home Affairs issuing a notification authorizing digital surveillance by 10 central government agencies. So this is something that is to be worried. And the government always likes agencies like Facebook if they're willing to share data with them. Okay. Then, as we're talking about the same, there was a furor in the Rajya Sabha, and as the opposition accused the government of creating a police state by authorizing 10 agencies for interception, monitoring, description, and transmit to receive installed in any computer. The notification means website and web-based application visited by a suspect on a computer or mobile handset could be intercepted by the service provider at the request of the authorized agency after it has been cleared by the Home Secretary. And this would, the service provider would be liable to share the information under Section 69(1) of the Information Technology Act 2000. And Rahul Gandhi said on Twitter that converting India into a police state isn't going to solve your problems, Modi ji. It's only going to prove that over 1 billion Indians, what an insecure dictator you really are. Okay, but the Home Ministry spokesperson said that no new powers has been conferred by the notification, and it has been issued to notify ISPs, telecom providers, to codify existing orders. And leader opposition said that it was just a repeat of the rules that were framed in UPA in 2009. But hardly that's an excuse, right? So just look at what this section was. So the section 69 was amended in 2008 to enable central and state government to intercept, monitor, decrypt any information transmitted or stored or received in a computer. The rules were framed in 2009, and Rule 3 say the competent authority, that is the Home Secretary in the state and center, can alone issue an order for interception. Right? The interception order naming 10 agencies has been issued under Rule 4, and it does not introduce any new surveillance or norm. Right? And what is the procedure? Obviously, any direction of interception shall contain reasons and a copy to be sent to a review committee within 7 days. The authority, before issuing the order, should also consider information required by other means. Interception order will be enforced for maximum 60 days. Rules have been framed outlining the intermediary responsibility. And it is also mentioned that a review committee should meet once in every 2 months. It has the power to set aside the interception power. And just to have an idea, when is 69(1) of the Information Act used? Obviously, for the sovereignty and integrity of India, security of India, friendly relationship with the foreign states, foreign, the public order, and incitement to offenses. Okay, then we have an article by Rajiv Bhatia. He's a distinguished fellow at Gateway House. He's a former ambassador, and he headed the division which handled relationship with Maldives and other states. Okay, so what has happened? That article title is Island Hopping. It says, after repairing ties with the Maldives, New Delhi should outreach and strengthen the Indian Ocean outreach. It says what has happened is now Ibrahim Soleh, right, appear to have struck the right notes, and now we're going to have again an India First policy by Maldives. Remember, the 5-year-long tenure with proceeding with Abdullah Yameen was marked with serious deterioration in ties with India, and it led to the nation towards authoritarianism and a close embrace with China. Now, Soleh government has a different vision, one anchored in decentralized and people-centric governance, and India has a specific view in that. And what has happened is India has given a generous 1.4 billion assistance package for this. Then India has also offered visa facilitation, which allows Maldives to visit easily, and then 1,000 additional training slots for the next 5 years. Right, close cooperation on political and diplomatic issues. Then it will support Maldives to join the Commonwealth and to entry to the Indian Ocean Rim Association. Right, then there have been MOUs on information technology, culture, agribusiness, and visa arrangements. Further, now the government, plan to enhance the maritime security. Right, and the expectation in Delhi is that the Indian Navy and Coast Guard will now be able to secure better cooperation from Maldives for coordinated patrolling, aerial surveillance, and capacity building. And also, the intelligence agency also want to revert to better collaboration. Remember, there's a sizable number of Maldivian men who have left to join the Islamic State in Syria. Uh, the other thing which definitely needs to be focused is the bilateral trade is only 200 billion, and this needs to increase definitely. And what needs to be done is that a smart action plan for development of Saga, that is security and growth for all in the region, strategy that was announced in March 2015, right, should accord to the neighbors on two issues. We should actually focus on security in the Indian Ocean and definitely look for opportunities in the blue economy, and this is extremely. Then, NGT has talking about the fact that 16 states have submitted incomplete action plans pertaining to cleaning of 351 polluted stretches, and the Green Tribunal has extended the deadline to 31st March and said that there will be hefty compensation if you don't do it. Right? It says that for every delay, compensation for damage to environment is payable for each state or UT at the rate of 1 crore per month for each of the priority 1 and priority 2 stretches, and for priority 3 it will be 50 lakhs, and for priority 4 and 5 25 lakhs per month will be given. And the tribunal added the compensation amount may be recovered from airing officers, that is the state pollution board, the pollution committees of the UTs, right, etc. And they have also been directed to display the quality of water or polluted stretches on their respective website within 30 days, and this has to be revised every 3 months. So this is extremely, extremely good. and this should definitely be done. Right? Only then, state government will take pollution seriously, right? Uh, then we have Photo alba. He's a rare albino orangutan, right? And remember, remember, it's the orangutan are having a shrinking habitat, right? They're basically in Indonesia, right? And uh, what has happened in the last few decades is due to large destruction of forests for logging, paper, palm oil, and mining. Right? The population of orangutan in Borneo has plummeted from right 283,000 in 73 right to 1 lakh today, and this is a huge problem, right? And some of them have also become critically endangered. So that is. Then we have the SDGs and its implementation. The progress was measured using aggregate performance across 13 SDGs, and you see the wonderful, guidelines we have for UP. So think about this, blot on our country in some ways. But the problem is the government needs to do something about this. Okay, everybody knows that obviously UP, Bihar, and Assam are weak in SDGs, but something definitely needs to be done, considering they're all states ruled by the central government, right? And the state government does need to end poverty, ensure healthy lives and gender equality, and sustainable water management practices, among others. Okay, so what has happened is that various SDGs, right? So first we should know what are the various SDGs. This is something that you should definitely note. The first SDG is ending poverty. The second is ending hunger, right? Then obviously the next is ensuring healthy lives and promoting well-being. Then SDGs is quality education, achieving gender equality, which is SDG 5, right? Then SDG 11 is making cities livable, right? And inclusive, safe, sustainable, and resilient. Then SDG 9 is building resilient infrastructure. Okay, SDG 2, as we talked about, is ending hunger. SDG 7, right, is ensuring access to sustainable modern energy, and so on. So the idea is that you should actually remember all these SDGs. That's one thing, right? At least some of them, if not possible, all of them. I think maybe we can create an acronym, right? But anyhow, so the idea is that Himachal Pradesh, Kerala, and Tamil Nadu have been ranked in terms of being on track to achieve the SDGs, according to first of its kind index released by Niti Aayog. And the index is a composite score for each union territory based upon their performance across 13 of the 17 SDGs. Some SDGs have been not been used, right? And what are they? We'll have a look at that. Okay. It says that among the states, Kerala and Himachal Pradesh are front runners with the SDG score of 69, and among the UT, Chandigarh is the front runner with the SDG score of 68, right? And the idea is Kerala is top ranked, because it performance in providing food, health, and reducing hunger, despite the fact they had floods, by the way, this year, and providing quality education. Himachal ranks high on providing clean water and sanitation and reducing the inequalities and preserving the mountain ecosystem. Okay, and Chandigarh exemplary performance is of clean water and sanitation to its people. And it has all further obviously provided affordable and clean living, generated decent work and economic growth, and quality education as well. Right, and the average score was state was worst because of gender equality. So gender equality is something. So SDG 5. So SDG 5 is something which needs to be focused, and that's achieving gender equality. We are really poor in that. Then creating sustainable cities with community, that is another thing which is we have not been able to do, right? And this is SDG 11. Enabling industry, innovation, infrastructure, eradicating hunger is one of the biggest problems, I would say. So eradicating hunger, SDG 2, is okay, something again of a problem for us. Just to have an idea, then to just revise this, the Niti Aayog today released the baseline report of the Sustainable Development Goals Index, right? And it comprehensively documents how we can implement and reach the 2030 targets. Okay, and it also, Niti Aayog, remember, has the twin mandate to oversee the implementation of the SDGs in the country, also to promote competitive and cooperative federalism among states. And remember, SDGs index acts as a bridge between these two mandates because we have both. And SDGs has to have been obviously aligned with the Prime Minister call for Sabka Saath Sabka Vikas, and it also symbolizes the 5 P's, that is people, planet, prosperity, partnership, and peace. I think you can create a diagram like this. So what are the 5 P's of right? Uh, SDG, so write SDG here, and here you write people, planet, right? Partnership, peace, and prosperity. Okay, right. Then SDGs tracks progress of states on 62 priority indicators, right? And is guided by MOSPE's National Indicator Framework. 306 indicators are there, and they have been prepared with consultation with UTs and union territories. Remember, right now, SDG 12, 13, and 14 could not be measured, right? And SDG 17 was left out as it focused on international partnerships. Himachal Pradesh, we've already talked about. Kerala and Chandigarh are doing well, right? Full for report in case you want to go through, and the dashboard are here in these websites. You can just click on this link, and you can go to Niti Aayog's website. Okay, GS4, the Sterlite plant, right? The Madurai bench of the Madras High Court ruled that the status quo shall be maintained in the respect of reopening of the Sterlite copper plant in Thoothukudi, right? And the court wanted to ascertain whether the Tamil Nadu stance on the order of the NGT, setting aside the government order to close down the plant on causing pollution, right? And it says let the state make a decision before the High Court whether any decision to file an appeal before Supreme Court is in the case. The bench said, and the High Court also, talked about the fact this hearing will be held in 21st. So let's see whether what will happen, whether it will open or not, whether the state, will file an appeal and will be able to convince the Supreme Court against opening this plant. Okay, this question, has come. So look at this comment on the progress made in, SDGs in this. So access to affordable, reliable, sustainable modern energy is a sine qua non to achieve sustainable development goals. So which is SDG is this? Just to have a look. So accessible, right? Where is it? Yeah. So this is SDG 7. Ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable modern energy. So SDG 7. So the question basically came on SDG 7. So this is something that you should have mentioned in case you have attempted. This is in UPSC mains. So this is something extremely extreme. Then Niti Aayog, this is a question which we have framed for you today. Niti Aayog undertook intensive exercise of measuring India and states' progress towards the SDG, discussed its finding and gave recommendations for India to achieve the targets of SDGs. Okay, right. So try these questions and email us to at imprintknowledgesolutions@gmail.com, or you can actually join a Telegram group, right? And you can send the answer there, and we will definitely get back to you. Right. Thank you so much for listening to us today.